Hey everyone, it's James of geometricharts.com. June 13th, about 5:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the daily chart of Bitcoin here, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So first of all, video is not investment advice. Second of all, we're breaking through that more aggressive, like bearish divergence line in Bitcoin. It's that kind of chop I was talking about. It looks like Bitcoin is gunning for a move upward. I would expect Bitcoin to continue accelerating to the upside unless there's some crazy reversal that happens between here and Monday. But it does look like Bitcoin is gunning to recapture this top up here, and I do not think it's going to last at all. I do imagine Bitcoin will succumb to the larger divergence lines in momentum. There's also that lack of volume at this level, less and less participants showing up to buy at these levels. Yes, price is still moving up, but there's less and less people on the playing field at the moment, and I do feel like this will turn into a sell-off event in a very similar fashion to what we've seen in the past during these secondary rallies, that where the asset was not allotted enough time in order to perform a healthy corrective move in a market after a crazy run. Now going from 3,000 up to 9,000 is a crazy run, and unless you're in unless you're in the camp that thinks there's going to be simultaneous bubbles back to back within a year time frame, then more than likely this is not going to end well for Bitcoin in the short term, talking about the next month or two. So while I still think there's a little more upside for Bitcoin, probably just for the market as a whole, I do not think this is going to end well unless Bitcoin is somehow able to break through 15 to 18,000 going into the next few days and basically doing a 100% move where it's currently trading from right now. If that happens, it'll shatter all the bearish divergence lines, but we're also talking about bubble-like activity after a bubble market. I've never seen it in history. There's no historical bubble to bubble, but there's always a first time for anything. I just think statistically to expect that would be like to turn the burner on, touch the stove, and expect not to be burnt. Like, what did you think was going to happen? So while I do think short term there's some bullish activity going on, it's going to lead to some bullish price action. The bigger picture on the daily chart is still showing that there is some impending doom ahead, and it's going to lead to that just normal, healthy, corrective move. It's not like I'm saying Bitcoin's going to zero, but it will lead to a deeper sell-off than what we're seeing here, and then that corrective move will lead to potentially the next leg up, or it leads to a 100% reversal and you see something crazy like this unfold. But this is what happens when markets are not given the amount of time they need in order to sell off normally and then consolidate and get ready for that next leg up. But it's like you run a marathon and then you try to run another marathon right after you're done finishing the first marathon. What do you think is going to happen? It doesn't end well. You can look on any chart, any asset. You don't have to just take my word for it. But this is a massive, very violent run. This is not a correction at all. And for Bitcoin to already be trying to recapture this zone from history, from what I've seen, it does not end well for any asset trying to do this. So take from it what you will. Again, all the flashing red signs that I've seen in every single prior top here in Bitcoin since I've been talking about it during this downslide back into here, every single red flag is popping at this zone. Every single one. The washing of volume, etc. So just exercise some caution. It looks like there's definitely some short-term positive price action that's going to unfold probably into the next week or two, maybe even longer than that. But from there, I do imagine this is going to lead to a nasty corrective move, and it's what's natural. It takes essentially that bearish sentiment, it takes that bullish sentiment, flips it to bearish, and then if the market is able to successfully recover from that corrective move and continue upward, that bearish sentiment equals the new bullish sentiment, which equals that new leg. Essentially an ebb and flow of energy and personal sentiment, like not personal sentiment, but human psychology of just bullish and bearish activity. So right now the market is very, very hot. Everyone's euphoric. Everyone's doing the happy dance. When everyone's doing the happy dance is when you want to start worrying. And when there's blood on the streets, that is the buying opportunity. There will be blood on the streets in this market. It happens in every single market. There's no Teflon Don of any market. Just like everybody thought this would never come to an end, it's the same way everyone thought that all the other tops would never come to an end. This one would never, 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 this one would never. But this time's different. It's always different. It's always different. But it's just the natural flow of energy. Energy's been expended threefold, right? To expect it to go another 3 or 4 or 5-fold. But you don't understand the blockchain, anything like that. No. This is the flow of energy. This is a very hot and crazy market. And like I said, you can look on any chart. You don't have to take my word for it. But it does not end well for assets that try to do this. And the only thing I can liken it to for an analogy is that you run a marathon, you try to run another marathon, it's just not going to end well. So anyways, hopefully all that makes sense. Not that I think Bitcoin's going to implode on itself and go to zero. I just think we're going to see a much more severe corrective move than what would have naturally happened if we would have just kind of stair-stepped our way down into this area like so, and then started that next leg up. Instead, I imagine it'll be vertical to vertical, possibly back to vertical, given that happened. So it's going to be very aggressive, very violent price action. But short term, summarize it all, I'm bullish as long as there's no crazy reversal between here and Monday. And the longer term time frame in about like the next like few weeks to a month, definitely bearish on Bitcoin, given that it's already producing this style move from this zone. So anyways, hopefully all that makes sense. Hope everybody has a great day, great night, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll talk to everybody on Tuesday.